10 seconds for the championship. Hook fighting in. Neptune on the contest. Do we buy enough time for another point? Dachi steps up, brought down. Rotation is on. Optic are there.
And they're spawning there too. Every single player here, and Shotzi to seal the deal.
Final fight. Shotzi's there. Nasty dives. It's history in the making. Back to back. World champions. Optic Texas. It is a fairy tale come to life. Not in a million years, with the year they've had, would you ever have called them champs here. It is simply proof that miracles are possible. And the miracle maker Mercules, the messiah for Optic. And for the rest of the league, he was the Baba fucking Yaga.
Welcome back to another episode of the Borito Talk podcast. I am your host, Borito, the number one CDL analyst slash content creator in the world. This is the Borito Talk podcast, and we're going to catch up on everything that happened this weekend. This is Borito Talk Monday. I'm trying to do a thing now where I upload an episode of the Borito Talk podcast every single Monday. So there's going to be a lot of interesting episodes coming, ranking the top 10. There's going to be random things, even from throwback CODs. I'm thinking doing ranking top 10 players from Black Ops 3, ranking top 10 from IW, shit like that I have to do some research on. I'm going to try to implement a lot of stuff like that. But if you want to help the podcast grow, all you got to do is follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That will help me out tremendously. Listen on those platforms, obviously on YouTube for the video version, Spotify also for the video version. Apple Podcasts not on that wave yet, but I'm going to catch up on day 2, day 3 before we get into the grand finals, because if you don't know, go back on my YouTube post and you'll figure out why I did not record on those nights. A lot of stuff going on this weekend, but I just want to do a quick catch up. Also wanted to get into the GOAT debate as well, because now people are throwing out some crazy numbers, some crazy rankings now that Optic won back-to-back world championships. But I got a nice argument for that, and I'll try to timestamp it, but we'll see. But it'll be near the end once we get through the grand final, so it'll be towards the end of the podcast. But I guess we're going to start here on day 2, Friday, Vancouver versus LA Thieves. I'm not going to skim through it, but I am going to I'm just going to talk about the games, whatever. So I just think the same thing goes for Atlanta FaZe as well. I don't think LA Thieves and Atlanta FaZe played anywhere near themselves this weekend. I think Atlanta FaZe played more to how they usually play, which is actually pretty bad. Because usually the way Atlanta FaZe plays is very susceptible to losing, but then they show those glimpses of being S-tier players. But I don't think LA Thieves showed up at all. They lost their best control map pretty much in every series they played, which is an anomaly. They had one loss on it all season. They were literally dominating teams, doing everything, and all of a sudden they're choking defenses. I haven't watched the Red Card Hardpoint yet, but I'm going to make a video on it sometime during the week. There's a lot of videos. There's going to be a lot of breakdown videos coming. This Monday is just for the Borito Talk. But as the week goes on, I'm going to be going through different maps from different games that are important, breaking them down. One thing is the Atlanta FaZe. We'll get into it when we get to that series. Oh my god, dude, absolutely insane. But I was actually surprised. A lot of people were surprised when Vancouver allowed Red Card Hardpoint and Red Card S&D back to back, which are LA Thieves' 2 best Hardpoint and S&Ds back to back. A lot of people thought they were crazy. I think Vancouver definitely upgraded their red card S&D to the point where they won it every time they played it. Optic opted out of it in the finals, which I thought was a smart decision. I thought Optic was going to ego it, but Optic actually just decided to ban it. But it came at the price of dealership, because I thought they're going to ban dealership, but then they end up getting 6-0 on dealership anyway. But yeah, Vancouver just started playing red card like tremendously well. Like, they're really good at that map. Like, they have a really like solid way of playing. Like, the way they work on offense with 04 and Neptune moving up the staircase mid, playing around hedges, how they work A through P2. They have a very good grasp for that map. Yeah, but yeah, the red card I didn't watch. I'm going to have to go back on that. But definitely assuming LA Thieves made some catastrophic collapses, because they have been destroying teams on LAN, more specifically on that map. And then, I mean, this whole series was just a troll fest. Like, in another alternate universe, we played this exact same tournament again next week. LA Thieves probably make like the grand finals. Like, you know, like, this is just a pretty much anomaly weekend. And some I do also want to point out as well. So, like, this knocked LA Thieves out of the tournament. This was, like, losers round 1. Some I do want to point out, because I brought this up earlier. I tweeted about it. If you aren't already, follow me on Twitter. I've been tweeting a lot lately. This is the most I've ever tweeted my whole entire life. I've had a Twitter for, like, over 10 years. I never tweet. And now, you know, got to start tweeting. Got to start getting the presence out there. But I did make a tweet saying, I think Hydra I forgot what the heck I said. I'm gonna have to pull this shit up now. Let's look for this. Oh my god, that green wall tweet I posted is banging too. I'm not even gonna lie. I said, what did I say? I said, okay, so this is what I said. I said Hydra's the only player in the current pro scene who I believe doesn't get flustered by pressure in game when things are going bad. Bro's an absolute titan, and so sure of himself and his abilities. Off individual skill alone, I think he's top 3 all time. Like, I never see this man get flustered. Dude, you have to take into account, dude, he was playing with Priesta and Kismet in Skies, and he made back-to-back grand finals. There is not a player in the world, like no player, not even Shotzi, not Hook, not Merc. There's not a player in the world that could have entered that team and took him to back-to-back grand finals, back-to-back years. I mean, Hydra's just an absolute titan. He never gets flustered by pressure. Like, yes, he had moments in this game, like in the S&D, where he whiffed some shots. That happens to everybody, like, you know. But overall, I mean, basically the highest damage in the lobby, basically the best KD in the lobby, basically the most kills in the lobby. Like, Abuza had 1 more kill than him. Like, he was pretty much, like, he was not playing bad at all, you know, not playing bad at all. But yeah, let's see where LATs go from this. They are, as a team, renewed for next year. I mean, Nature's already talked about their contracts. They're like a 1+1, so like they go into next year. But I would not be surprised, because they basically made this team, like, I remember Scrap even said, because they made the team to win world championships, but I think at some point, Scrap or Hydra, I think it was Scrap, like, threw out like a saving grace. It was either before the season or near the beginning of the season, where he said, we're built to either win multiple championships or like the world championship. And they did win multiple championships, but you could still look at it as a disappointment, especially going out literally dead last at the biggest tournament of the year. Like, the tournament, we heard all these players, oh, it doesn't matter, all that matters is champs, and then they show up and they get OFR'd, back-to-back losses. So very interested to see where they go from there. Another point I made as well is that I don't think Daniel Ghosty is ever going to have a better shot at winning a world championship than this. We talk about the roster that he has and the momentum that they had going into this. They were quite literally the undisputed best team in the league going into this event off back-to-back major wins, literally back-to-back major wins. And the people he has on his team, Envoy, a serial winner, Hydra, like, arguably, like, he literally had the 2 best players in the game on his team. Like, and then after he had Envoy as well, who's also, like, a very good player. So he had experience and just, like, slaying power around him, and they could not win. You gotta think, I mean, obviously he still has a long way to go. I think he's only like 20. I think he's like 23 actually. I think he's 23. But yeah, I don't think he's ever gonna have a better chance like to win. He must be devastated. I mean, I already know all of LA Thieves are devastated because they obviously had high expectations for how they're gonna finish at this tourney. But Daniel Ghosty, more than anything, he's probably like he has to be. The thought had to have pondered his mind, like, man, I had this team and I couldn't win. And you have to think, LA Thieves the whole year, they were so overconfident. They were chirping everyone. They were talking to Vancouver like, you guys are never gonna make a grand final ever. You guys suck. Everyone sucks. Like, they're like so egotistical, saying Challenger players don't know what they're doing. Envoys throwing shit out. Then a Challengers player literally is like shitting on, like, you know. Like, there's so many, like, they got very overconfident. I think it was like a disgusting overconfidence. It was like a delusional overconfidence. And I remember I wanted to try to clip it. I may add it in the post-production if I could even find it. It's going to take some searching. I think it was in like the first tier list I made at the beginning of the year. I said that this LA Thieves team is going to do well, but their kryptonite when it comes to losing is going to be the overconfidence, because like they're going to think they're so good that when things don't go their way, like they're going to get frustrated and they're not going to be able to recoup. And they got that loss to Boston and they could not recoup the next day, even with like a full 24 hours to like ponder on like the thoughts. Still couldn't pull out. So pause. No, actually, it's not even pause. What am I saying? It's like a just reaction. I don't know. But LA Thieves bow out at top 8. Very disappointing. We'll see how they bounce back at EWC. It's a single LM, so you know, a lot less pressure. I think a lot of teams, I think we're going to be seeing a better version of LA Thieves in Atlanta FaZe just because EWC is a lot less pressure. Still a lot more money, but the legacy truly is the Call of Duty World Championship. Like, you could win EWC like 5 times. But like, if you're not a world champion, like, you're just not a world champion. Like, this is the tournament with the lore behind it, the history, the legacy, like how you want to be remembered. This the tourney that people put a lot of pressure on themselves on, and I think LA Thieves is gonna be going to EWC a lot more loose. So I think we're gonna be seeing a better version of them. But very disappointing end to the tournament for them. And then, I mean, I'm gonna skim through this one. Atlanta FaZe, Carolina 3-0. I mean, everything we expected. Apparently there's like a 4-1, 5-2, whatever comeback in the Protocol S&D. Doesn't even matter if it went to Rewind. They're gonna shit on anyway. The Hacienda S&D map 5, though, if it made it there, I think Atlanta FaZe would have lost that, but that would have required Carolina to beat them at Rewind Hardpoint, which I don't think was gonna happen. So pretty straightforward series. Gwyn obviously needed some fucking help. Back-to-back series, no one there to help him. All this preparation, didn't do shit. Dylan Rex, very disappointing. I know he came into the league, he faced LA Thieves back-to-back, you know, but like, there's teams beating LA Thieves. Like, we have to remember, these are all pro players at the end of the day. They're all playing the exact same game all year. So that excuse could only go so far, that, oh, we played LA Thieves so far. Like, these are the teams that you're trying to beat. Like, you're trying to prove you're a Challengers player, you deserve to be in the pro league. Like, there shouldn't be an excuse of, oh, but I played LA Thieves, it's fine though. It's like, you should view them on the same playing field as you. Like, that's how every pro player's mentality should be. Obviously, some teams are just naturally skilled than others, like Atlanta FaZe to Carolina. Obviously, FaZe has the better players, but you're all pro players at the end of the day. You could all beat each other. You're all playing the same game for the same amount of time. Like, y'all got coaches, you all got VOD, you know, you basically got everything. There's ways to beat people besides skill. Like, Vancouver proved that. Like, a team with just phenomenal teamwork, but we'll get more into that. We get to grand finals, so I mean, didn't really do nothing for me. I mean, Carolina just bowed out exactly like I thought they would. Didn't win a single map. Nobody showed up to this tournament but Gwyn. A lot of people talking about how Slasher and TJ is going to be like their last time ever in the pro league. I just personally think, I mean, this kind of, it's like a friendship thing. Like, with Brian Saint and then Slasher and TJ want to play together, it felt like just like a friendship cheese, like, fuck, taking up space in the league. And I remember at the beginning of the season when everyone was like, when Carolina was doing well, and I had people in my comments like, they're gonna finish top 3, like they're gonna be a top 3 team all year. I'm like, brother, we're one stage into the game and everyone's saying they're top 3. I'm like, I instantly knew, and I fucking said, you guys could go back, all the receipts are on my YouTube. I said this team's gonna hit this team's going to take a plunder. They're going right back down. And that's exactly what they did. Would have been better off with Reese, I mean, to be honest. And I know they're striving for Kenny, but I don't think Kenny would have made a difference either. Like, they would have been better off getting, like, Mac. Like, you know, but, like, Mac, like, wants to run an SMG. But, I mean, Mamba and Craze on Omit were both using subs, and I think Mac was using an AR. So, I mean, definitely possible. Definitely probably should have picked up Mac than Rex, but obviously hindsight's 2020. Made the video on Rex, just like to gas him up, but I only watched like 5 matches of him. But I mean, now we see how he does on the pro level, basically non-existent. And yeah, if you ever fucking get a shot in the league, doesn't matter who you are, because we see people like fucking Merc. Granted, Merc's on Optic and he got on Ultra. It doesn't even matter. Like, you have people like Gwyn like performing. Like, shouldn't be no excuse. This Carolina team's beaten Atlanta FaZe like before in the league. You just have to perform, and you're an AR too, so like dropping an 0.6 as an AR is even worse, because it's not like you're an SMG in the mix on the hill, like, you know, constantly in the action. Like, you're an AR holding a lot more pre-aims, and you're just getting your shit on. So it's definitely something to take into account more. Yeah, I think Cadilla and Rex probably going to go back to Challengers and probably going to have to redeem himself again, because he finally got his shot. Or maybe it might just be a case like fucking Pentagram, where like he had his shot and then he just like could never get back in. Granted, Pentagram like retired, but Pentagram's situation is a bit different. He was like a bench player for like years and years and years, so it was a little bit different. Sorry, I had to take a sip of the water. So low show, I'm the only one talking. Yeah, but yeah, Carolina didn't do nothing for me. Miami and Boston, I think this was a winners round match. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. This is one that got Boston like their top 3. Just another super duper extreme Neslo Boston, probably like the best Hacienda S&D team in the world. I mean, like, the way like they're beating teams on that map is very convincing. I don't think a team's gone more than 3 rounds on them. On that map, they just been smoking teams. They have a very good understanding of that map, how to play A, how to play B, offense and defense. And then Hacienda, they're able to sneak out of Hacienda. I don't remember watching the series. I think it was like Friday. Oh yeah, I was like very I think I was in the middle of work on that day. Yeah, I didn't even watch the series. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it during the week. I just remember I watched like the Protocol S&D. I think that's the only map I caught, and I was like barely watching because I was in the car on the way home. But this series basically went as expected. Like, Miami takes both the hard points and just a super duper Neslo 6-5. I mean, could have went either way. Miami, honestly, probably. You got to think, if Miami doesn't lose that S&D and they face Optic in the winners final, like, they probably beat Optic in that fucking winners final. Like, I think Miami's like the one team who is like on that par that Optic was on. Granted, Miami had a lot more close series, but I think Miami's like a hard counter to Optic, and I think they would have countered them in the S&Ds and the hard point as well. Like, Miami's like not really a team anymore that gets like fucking dominated in the hard point in this game. So yeah, dude, it's just crazy. Every single champs tourney that you look at, dude, every single champs bracket you look at, you're like, if that one map went different and that one team went here, you could have would, you know, there's every single tourney. Like, it never goes exactly as you expected, but that's every bracket in general. But this was like a 1 round Miami versus Optic in that fucking winners final. We probably get a different scenario. Like, Optic probably goes in through like the losers, the M Miami in the grand finals, or they run in a surge in a best of 5. Maybe something happens over there, you know. Like, there's so many things, and if they lose, you know, it's a confidence derailer as well. There's just so many things like that. Yeah, because Optic would have dropped down, would have faced FaZe. They probably would have beat FaZe again, to be honest. Probably would have beat them again, to be honest. Because Atlanta FaZe just not looking good at all. And then Optic 3-0 Ultra. I mean, Ultra have just not looked good at all. You even see Insight went 28 and 51 in this series at 0.55. Beans at 37 and 58. Just everyone on the team just getting absolutely horked on. 250 to 87 in the hard point, 6-1 in the S&D, 3-0 on the control. Like, if you want to talk about a time respecter, like, this is me driving from work to home and the series is over. Like, this is how quick of a series this was. Ultra, I mean, just have not looked the same ever since they brought Beans back in. They had like the high with Merc, and then they brought Beans back, and ever since then they could not recover. They could not recapture the magic that they had going into the Major 3 tournament when Beans had the visa issues. I feel like if you didn't have the visa issues, like obviously everything would have panned out way different. Even in Optic scenario, I don't even think Optic actually would have picked up Merc. I think that's like Merc showcasing his skills is what got him on like the thing. Like I don't think a person literally was gonna handpick him out of challengers in like this season. I don't think that actually would have happened. But from the perspective of Ultra, I mean, just don't have the firepower. Like just didn't have the firepower. I mean, they just look lifeless. It almost looked when they lost. Like, I looked at Kleenex's face, and usually when Kleenex loses, he's like scratching his head. He's so frustrated. He's almost crying. He's in his chair, like, just like fuck banging his head. A lot of times he's like punching his head, like, stupid. Like, he's actually going off on himself. But, like, this time, when they lost, I mean, fucking Beans look fucking devastated, but I mean, it's fucking your fault, buddy. You're just not shooting back. But Kleenex, for like the first time ever when I saw him lose, he looked like he had already fucking accepted it. He looked like he was at peace with himself. And I'm not sure if that's just him used to losing or is what he expected, but he just looked like at peace. Like, and I'm curious if going into the offseason, Inside and Kleenex stick together or if they finally part ways. But I definitely do see some roster changes here. I think Joe might be upgrading onto a better team. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he ends up on LA Thieves, like for Envoy. Would not be surprised at all. If Optic didn't win, I would see Joe Deceives on that Optic team. But now, I mean, ain't no way like they're going to drop this team now. And then Beans, definitely not going to be on this roster. He's probably going to be downgrading. May actually end up going back to Challengers. Who knows? It just hasn't been impressive as an AR. I'm not sure if Kleenex and Joe stick together. All depends on Atlanta FaZe. And I'm going to get to Atlanta FaZe because that's the next fucking series. But, like, Ultra, very disappointed. Actually, like, I'm not going to lie. I know teams get slaughtered. But, dude, this was an absolutely pathetic showing. Like, didn't get 100 points in the hard point. Only got 1 round in the S&D. No rounds in the control. Like, literally rolled over and died. At their home fucking tournament as well, 2 hours away, like, or an hour away, or whatever the fuck it was. But absolutely just pathetic showing out of Ultra. I'm actually very high on like their fucking coaching staff. I think their coaching staff and everyone, like, they do a great job. But they do a great job to an extent. But you know, most of the time they play very good Call of Duty, and now like they got like their best map, and Optic just ran their world on that. I am going to be doing a video on that map sometime in the next 3 weeks. It'll be in there somewhere because that needs to be studied. Ultra been dominating teams on that map. It's literally their best map. They're probably licking their lips like, oh my god, they actually give a skyline. And then Optic literally didn't give them a single hope in hell. Yeah, just got absolutely beat down. And then I'm going to get into this Miami Atlanta FaZe. I'm gonna take a sip of my water real quick. Oh, brother. The full video, when I do this full fuck video, I need all you guys to lock in. I'm gonna post this on every single social media. I am legit gonna cook these boys. I'm legit cooking. Like, I am frying, I'm sauteing these motherfuckers when I make this video, because this Skyline hardpoint was absolutely unacceptable. This was absolute garbage if I'm on the POV of Atlanta FaZe. This hard point, I can't, dude, if Crowder was not punching a wall when he would watch this shit, I don't know if we're watching the same shit. Because bro, Atlanta FaZe, I always thought they had the characteristics of being a good Skyline hardpoint team. It's a close range map, a lot of gunny, a lot of close corners, a lot of quick rotations, exactly like a map like Rio, a map that they dominate on. Like, these type of tight, close range maps, I always thought they should dominate on, but for some reason they just have been playing it all fucking season. But I knew they had the characteristics to be good at it. And then they queue up against Miami. They're in pretty much pole position for like this whole game. They're playing the game very well, playing the map very well. But like 3-4 times in this fucking game, they have full control of a hill or something along those lines, full rotation, something, and somebody goes and fucks it up. Like multiple times. And they didn't learn the first time. They didn't learn the second time. Didn't learn the third time. Like didn't learn at all. Like this map was Scam City. Like if you want to know how to not scam, watch this fucking map, dude. Watch this fucking map and watch what not to do. This map, I was literally in my chair. I almost picked my chair up and threw it at the wall. And like I have a security deposit on this place. Like I was so infuriated watching this guy on hardpoint because Atlanta FaZe should have won this map by like 150. Like this map, Miami had no chance. Miami's only hope at winning this map was Atlanta FaZe giving them freebies, and that's all Atlanta FaZe did. And I know Miami was probably laughing after this map was over, like, you guys literally suck. You guys basically handed us the map win. Like, you guys actually didn't want it. Like, you guys literally gave us freebies. I know Miami in Spanish was fucking laughing at them like these fucking idiots. These absolute idiots. That map, dude, if I'm Atlanta FaZe, I'm going back and I'm watching that map over and over again, watching these mistakes. Like, coaches, dude, play this map back and look at the amount of times you had hill holds. I'm specifically thinking about a P4 where they had full control, like Draza and Simp. It's usually never Draza and Simp. It's always most of the time it has to do with a BZ and MC. I swear whenever it comes to hardpoint, and I think MC is like the fucking best they are. So let's preface by saying that. But it's usually always them, like on some sort of scam shit, like all the time. Simp and Abizi are chilling at P4. They just got P4. I don't mind that Abizi's fucking pushed up like the hallway. He's like in P2. They have Miami like spawning piano. Deep ass spawn. Draws is blocking the back. Chris is on the hill. But then MC is like over challing through kitchen on piano. He dies. And then fucking Abizi, one guy walks by him. He misses him. The other guy comes. They trade him. And you want to know what that does? Because Miami pushes up so fast and it spawns the other two guys out. Or it spawns one out. Or either spawns one or both of them out. And then Draza and Simp are on the hill all by themselves. And 4 guys are just running at them and they break it. All MC had to do was just like head glitch like the kitchen counter. That's all he had to do. Head glitch the kitchen counter. Watch that and watch mid. All he had to do. All Abizi had to do, Abizi didn't have to push up that far because I've seen fucking Shotsy do that, and I think he fucking learned his lesson, learned a different way to play it. All Abizi had to do, if anything, was either camp gym or camp top AC, just lay down and just watch, just pre-aim the whole way. All he had to do. Everything else was good. Just pre-aim the whole way, pre-aim top AC. The second pressure comes from bedroom, drop down through the window. Could be so simple. Atlanta FaZe so many times. It's like whenever they get full control, they have to do too much. Like they just have to do too much. And they do too much every single time. Like just play simple. You get control, hold the fucking hill. That is literally the point of hardpoints, to hold the hill. And they cannot hold the hill. I'm going to get more into that in the YouTube videos, but it's literally been a problem for them. It happens all the time. They have the skill to get like a 4 down, 3 down, and then they over push, and then they just like lose control, and then instead of getting 50 seconds off a hill, they get like 30. It happens or 20 or less. Like, you know, they always scam full fucking setups. So all you got to do is get the kills, push up a bit, get more kills, and then you could start getting mixy. You need it like secure majority of the time. Like that's how you play hardpoint, and they just haven't grasped that in like fucking years, in actual years. And then I think that momentum swung into the Protocol S&D. They lost at 6-3. I was honestly like when I looked at the map set as a whole, I thought it guaranteed like this is like the best like map vetoes that Atlanta FaZe did all tournament long and in a while. but I was skeptical about the protocol S&D because Optic found them out, and I knew every other team was going to find them out as well. I honestly thought they should have played a different map. I think they should have squared up on Miami on dealership, because there was a dealership. The one time they played dealership against Miami, it was like Major 3 qualifiers. They lost 6-5. And the only reason why they lost that is because of BZ on like 2 rounds in a row scammed when they had a fucking man advantage and was doing extra shit, like, again, and then like they lost the map. But they literally give Miami a good run for their money on that map, and I feel they would have had a better chance playing them. Obviously it's hindsight, because you think protocol, they're fucking 15-6, but I look at more than just records. Like this weekend they have not looked good on protocol S&D. They have very bad timings on the computers inside A. Like the way teams break them, it's like their timings are always fucked up. Teams slide by them and they out trade them. It's like they have horrible timings in there now. It's like nothing compared to how they played it at the beginning of the season. Like teams have had a lot more reps to fucking find them out. And then I think they just lost all momentum after that, because Atlanta FaZe should never be getting 3-0'd in protocol by a team that's like, dude, let's take a look at Miami's fucking record on this map. Like we already looked at it like before. Dude, Miami's 2-8 on control protocol, and they 3-0'd Atlanta FaZe. Take a look at Atlanta FaZe's protocol control record. Atlanta FaZe is 16-5 on protocol control. They lost to a 2-8 team, and that's 2-8 now. They were 1-8. Like before they faced, they had 1 win on protocol control. FaZe can win around. That was just a momentum thing. Like they already lost like the protocol control. They knew they should have won the Skyline. It's a lot worse when you like. Losses hurt a lot more and they affect your mental a lot more when you knew you should have won the map. Like if you just get like pissed on, it's kind of like, yeah, fuck GG, go next. But I know Atlanta FaZe knew they should have won that Skyline hardpoint, and they scammed it. And then they lost like one of their best S&Ds, protocol control or S&D, and then it was just over from there. And then they just absolutely just broke down and just curled into a ball and died. Terrible showing out of Atlanta FaZe. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually borderline pathetic. I'm not gonna lie, especially from a team of that caliber. Just absolutely unacceptable. Just absolutely unacceptable. And also another thing I want to point out, so like obviously there's like multiple things. Draza has literally not played good like in a while, like in multiple months has not played good. Christopher Lear showed up to this event, did absolutely nothing. Abizi had a good series, but hasn't, like, MC is literally the only consistent person, like, constantly all the time. And I mean, that just like that's just not a good thing going forward. I mean, I don't know what happened to him. He grinds the game all the time, but for some reason this past like month and a half, like the past like 50 days, he just couldn't really do anything. Like hasn't really been doing anything. I don't even know. Like it's actually like very weird. I must say, very, very weird. So that was the first game of Saturday. I'll go into the next one. I mean, Ultra, oh my God, I forgot Ultra had another game. They got 3-0'd by Vancouver. Gonna go through it real quick again. Yeah, so I'm gonna go through like the Vault Hardpoint real quick because I'm gonna break it down. That's gonna be one of the many YouTube videos dropping this week. But that Vault Hardpoint, man. That Vault Hardpoint. For some reason, Ultra, very good at P2s and P1s, but their P4s, Vancouver had their number on every P4. Even if Vancouver didn't get to it early, they were very good at recovering through art, just sneaking and finding their way into art and just slowly, methodically breaking the hill. Ultra couldn't have a single P4. They literally lost this map off of never having a P4. They just needed one P4, and like they win probably by like 100. They just need one P4, but they trolled every single P4 that they had. And whenever Vancouver would get it, they could not break the hill at all. So Vancouver literally won the game off of P4s, but Ultra had better P1s, P2s. Like the P3s are just like fucking mixy as always. But Ultra literally lost the map off of... They lost off of P4s, and also fucking Neptune had 2 insane 3 pieces. There was one on the second. I have a tweet about it. I actually wrote... I'm going to pull my tweets. I tweet some good ass shit, man. I'm telling you. I tweet some good shit. I'm pulling this up. Okay. As I take a sip of my water real quick. This is a great CDL ESPN analysis post right here. I wrote, Ultra have good P2s and P1s, but lose their games off P4s. Surge dominated them on that. Second P3, Neptune walked right on the hill, front side like a Giga Chad. subbed one across the map. Guy comes through connector, gets spat on, then outer street couldn't trade either. So Neptune popped a crazy 3 on like the second rotation of P3. You go back and watch that. And then at the end of the same P3, Ultra got all the kills on rotation, had control of the P4 side. Kleenex was on P3 with 10 seconds left. He should have just abandoned that time and rotated away, but instead he died on the point, challenging somebody coming from Art. And then after Kleenex spawned out, they would have held the entire P4 if Kleenex was there on the initial like rotation and set up. All he had to do is back him and fucking go Art, and they basically like secure that, I feel, and they literally would have won the game off of that. And then on the third P4, Surge gets full control. 04 and Neptune push out the same side pool side. 04 dies. Ultra doesn't expect Nep to be there. He gets 2 on a trade, and then Insight gets absolutely deported back to England by Nep. 2 big 3 pieces from Nep and good P4s from Surge for the win. Yeah, you guys got to go back and watch it. It's the third P4 after Surge gets control. You could just watch that whole P4. And then 04 and Neptune push out the pool side, and then 04 is like on like the Humvee. He just like dies. Neptune pops 2. And then the kill he gets on Insight. You can even go on my Twitter because I actually posted it on there. And my commentary's on there as well. Dude, Insight got absolutely tucked night to bed. And then yeah, exact same thing like Atlanta FaZe, Ultra's Protocol S&D. It's like their best S&D, but they've been pretty lackluster on it, and Vancouver's a lot better on it. 04 and Neptune, like that's just the map that like suits their play style, like just like the route taking, the sneaky pinches, you know, that's just a sneaky fucking Dickens map. That's a sneaky Dickens map. Just a lot of like ratty shit going on. I think the momentum was just gone there. Vancouver 3-0'd them on the Vault Control, which is Ultra's best control map. I think it was just a momentum thing because there was like some rounds where Ultra should have won, but I think they were just like demoralized at that point, and like Vancouver is just fucking winning rounds they shouldn't even won. But yeah, that seems to be like the theme of this whole entire tournament, and it leads to another tweet that I tweeted. I think I have it on here somewhere. I'm gonna have to find it somewhere. Let me see. Okay, it's actually like pretty far ahead here. Miami is the only team at this tournament with any ice resilience when they go down. Pretty pathetic from the other teams though, respectfully, but honestly, they have to do better with the time there was to prepare. Talk all year about champs, then just lose first map and roll over. Yeah, that's basically the theme of like pretty much everybody. Barring Miami, it's like they just lose the first map and they just roll over and die. And I just can't even understand it. Happened a lot of times. Like people are literally preparing their whole year for champs. Everyone's saying, "Oh, but champs is turning that matters." Then they show up and like don't even put up a fight. Yeah, just not good. Just not good at all. And then I guess I don't even got to go into the Boston thing. I mean, like breaking points crashing on me now. Yeah, look, Liddy says it's fine. I did not find a secret place. What the heck does that mean? But Optic, Boston in the winners final. I mean, Optic just fucking 3-0s them. I mean, not really. That was just a skill diff. Boston's only hope at that series was the S&D, but Optic won that. So, I mean, it was pretty much just fucking chalk from there. I'm not going to lie. Pretty much chalk from there. Not really a competition in the hard point, in the control. I mean, that was just a dead gun series. Like, everyone already knew who was going to win. GG breaking points absolutely crashed on me now. Probably should have preloaded, like, the tabs, but, I mean, it is what it is. I forgot what the next maps are, dude. I'm tweaking. You want what this would be good for? This would be a good time for a commercial break, and we'll come back, and we'll finish off this episode of the Burrito Talk podcast. Yo guys, today's episode of Burrito Talk is sponsored by me. Today's episode of Burrito Talk is sponsored by the Burrito Takeover YouTube membership, the best membership on all of YouTube. For just $4.99 Canadian, you unlock a bunch of extra behind the scenes, extra breakdowns, extra analysis from yours truly, Burrito. A lot of extra content that you will not get on any other YouTube channel for their memberships. Not trying to compare or anything, but it is the best YouTube membership if you're interested in extra content, extra chill nights, watching breakdowns, analysis, so much good stuff in the archives, and so much more on the way from yours truly, Burrito. So hit the join button. Join, support the Burrito Takeover on my road, to full-time content. This episode of Burrito Talk is sponsored by the Burrito Takeover YouTube membership. Now back to the podcast. We are back on this episode of the Borito Talk podcast. GG breaking point, still after like 40 minutes, still letting me down. I'm pretty sure all the engineers for the website out partying, like, you know, it's champs night. I'm gonna cut some slack this time, but yeah, website's completely down, not coming back up. So I'm just gonna use the CDL website, woo, with no statistics from the main. Like, good job. Just to preface, dude, on the Apex website, the Apex has leaderboards for kills and assists with player like pictures, like has all the statistics all on one website. For some reason, the Call of Duty League website just has like 3-0 and the maps does not have KDs or anything. Like, you know, can't throw easy mac like some dollars to put like, you know, it could all be so simple. It could all be in one place, but it's not. But yeah, Optic pretty much dominated this series. You can see 250 to 73. I broke this map down the other night, so go back and watch that YouTube video. 6-1 in the Proto S&D, a 3-2 Hacienda. I know it's 3-2. Boston did have like some good recoveries on a lot of rounds. And my days of recapping controls in YouTube videos are over because EWC, they're playing on the new patch, I would hope. If the update's not effed up. So going through Hacienda and Vault Control is going to be null and void, only protocol. Wow. But yeah, this series was fucking nothing. I'm not going through the rest of it. I mean, it's just like it's just a fucking, yeah, it's just whatever. Vancouver against Miami, a 3-2. I really, hold on. Who's texting me? I really wanted Miami to win because I wanted them to be the team to face Optic in the finals. But Vancouver pulled through a 250 to 242 on the Vault Hardpoint, a 6-3 Miami win in the dealership S&D, a 3-1 Vancouver in the protocol. Because, you know, if any team's actually decent at protocol, they're going to beat Miami, or just decent at control in general. And then Miami again with a hardpoint win. Obviously, they didn't win the first round. They lost the first round by 8 points. A 250 to 193 on the Hacienda, proving they're like the best Hacienda hardpoint team in the world right now. And then a 6-5 loss on Red Card S&D, clutching up from Vancouver. I mean, that last round, like that round 11 from Miami, I mean, it felt a little bit easy. Like, they kind of just, like, walked in like the fucking free kills. I don't know. Probably could have played that a little bit better, but, I mean, I don't blame him for going B, because, like, B is, like, the safer site. You know, if you go A, you're worried about Neptune or 04 on a pinch, on a flank, you know, you're just tweaking, having to worry about way too many things. So I don't mind the B. The B just wasn't as effective. Like, they didn't have people on, like, the outer stairs when, like, they hit inside. They kind of all just hit through, like, the front and were just, like, tradable. And, like, yeah, it was just, like, not really a good 5-5. Really didn't want them to win. Like, if they won that first map, man, I might have to break that down because I completely, like, forgot who's in, like, pole position to win. But Vancouver finding ways to squeak out that map. I think Vancouver actually did, like, slip away with it. I do feel they did. I'm going to go back and watch that during the week. But Vancouver ended up winning at 3-2. And then Vancouver went on in the next game right after to face Boston Breach 3-2. Once again, not entirely going to break this one down. But a 250 to 235 in the red card hardpoint. Vancouver probably could have won that a bit more cleaner. Boston literally never plays that map. They're not good at it. But, I mean, they're decent. But, I mean, against anyone of any competition, like, no. Boston with a 6-2 Rewan S&D win. Vancouver with a 3-0 on Vault Control, which against Boston Breach, who's a very good Vault Control team, a very impressive victory. A 250 to 188 Skyline victory for Boston. I mean, Vancouver in that game had like the same issue Atlanta FaZe had, but was a little bit different. But Boston had full control of P4 on Skyline with like 10 seconds left. And Vancouver had control of P1. They had like all the bodies there, but then they sent 2 people to go chow 8 seconds of P4 time, which meant they lost their full setup on P1 to hold that. And I think that's what lost them the game, honestly, overall. So, I mean, just bad. That was a blackout play. That was a really, that was such a bad play. And then Vancouver with the 6-2 once again, another clutch on red card. A lot more dominant of a win against Boston on that map. But now we're going to go into the grand finals. I had the statistics for it, but now I don't have it. Can't pull it up. Could I? And I'll go. Actually, I'll go on team stats. Are there team stats? I'm curious if they're actually team stats. Oh, it actually has like the scoreboards for all the games. Okay, in the grand finals. Okay. The winners final. Okay, but they don't have the grand. Oh, they have the grand finals too. They actually have the scoreboards on here. Oh, okay. Wow, this is actually nice. Yeah, but they don't have the overall though. I don't know. They don't have the overall. But the overall, I mean, Shotzi had like a 1.27. He had the most kills in lobby. He had like 172 kills. But Optic was able to take this 5-3 in the grand finals to win the Call of Duty World Championship back-to-back Call of Duty World Championships for Dashi, for Shotzi. I mean, this where it's interesting. There's a lot of things to talk about here, but first we're just gonna like go through the game real quick. So, Optic with a 250 to 151 victory on the Hacienda Hardpoint, pretty convincing victory. Vancouver bounced back with a 6-0 in dealership. Optic stood no chance. And then the protocol, both teams were scamming multiple rounds. Like there was a defense where Optic had control of mid, but they had nobody on the P1 side on defense. So Neptune snuck by, and that's what opened up Vancouver to win that offense. Optic like 4 stacked like the boat side. I was like mind blown how no one covered the other side. But then Vancouver also trolled like 2 rounds as well. So you could argue they could have won it, but that's just how finals are. Both teams troll. If Optic didn't troll that defense, probably still won the exact same way. 250 to 230. Hardpoint victory from Vancouver. I feel like Vancouver actually could have won that. That's a map I'm actually going to go back and break down. There was a sequence. It was on, I believe it was on like a P2 or a P3 that I'm going to go break down. I completely forgot. There's like 9 maps, dude. I'm trying my best here. And then a 6-5. I'm sorry for the yawn. That's terrible audio, by the way. I actually have to stop that, but it's like my body. But Vancouver, the 6-5 protocol S&D win. Optic probably should have won that map. So if you want to like trade like the protocol control for the protocol S&D, it's pretty much balanced still. Vancouver with a very impressive Hacienda control. Optic causes so much chaos on that map. It makes teams literally work so hard for the victory. But something I am going to say about this whole grand final, and something that was very evident, especially in the Hacienda control, Vancouver just did everything together. Like the thing I love about grand finals when like 2 Titans are playing against each other, because usually when you're in grand finals you get the best out of teams. Hasn't been the history like that for Vancouver, but it was in this grand final. But when you get teams playing at their absolute best, like when LA Thieves and FaZe would go head to head in those grand finals, it is a trade fest. Like you're very rarely ever going to see someone like finish the series with like a 1.5, because everyone is trading everything. It's like Titans going back and forth, back and forth. That's what the Hacienda felt. And Vancouver had a very good counter to the way Optic played, because Optic, FaZe could not counter like the way Optic played Hacienda control, because Optic would hop on points and like hard bait them onto it. Vancouver did everything together. When a person on Optic was on a point, they took multiple people together and they just decided to just focus on that one thing, as opposed to multitasking. Like you go here, you go try to block off spawners. They just did everything together and it worked for them in the end, and they were able to like grit through that game. Like that was a very good game to watch. And Shotzi with a 4-piece on that map, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen that 4-piece by now. That could have been easily avoided by Nasty, but Nasty was so occupied. Like, Nasty must have thought he's playing on like the new patch, because he saw Shotzi just go around the fence onto the point, and he turned around to go look well to go find spawners, but nobody was off spawn. No one was anywhere near off spawn on the well side, and by the time he turned back around, Shotzi already popped 3, and then he walked in and he was like the 4th guy. All he should have done is just see Shotzi and just go kill him. But either way, Vancouver recovered well, because Shotzi popped that 4-piece, and then Shotzi goes up the stairs and overheats, and then he dies, and then Vancouver kind of regain control, and they capitalize, and they get all the trades. They go to A. Abuza, Neptune played very good. Like, dude, Vancouver had such good teamwork. Some of the gunfight angles they were taking together were just masterful. I feel like it's something, like, if you're an amateur team or you're teaming up with, like, your friends, whatever, trying to, like, if you just have any team trying to get better, go watch some of the ways that Vancouver would position themselves in that control, even in the hard point as well. They just position themselves very well for trades. Like, they do very well in like the teamwork aspect of the game. And then Hacienda 6-2 from Optic, that was not even close. Vancouver like had like no answer for that. And then on my Twitter, do I have my Twitter still pulled up on the side? I do. Thank God I do. So I made this tweet right here. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually banging. So this right here is the biggest kill of the map. So for those of you on audio, I'm going to try to explain it, but if you're on a video, you pretty much see it. So there was a second P1. On the second P1, Vancouver got 4 down, and they had full control. They had a guy pushed up beyond P5, almost touching P2, and they had another guy like the bookshelf. And then they had a guy off spawn on the 18-wheeler. But when they had a guy in blue, when they got 4 down, it caused Dashy to spawn back P3 Street, like towards like the P4 side. And then everyone else on Optic spawned on the Burger side by the time like the guy moved away from blue. But they didn't pick up on it. And then, actually, I think like Abuza obviously did Pikachu, my bad. Did pick up on it because you could see his arrow right here. He did chow Dash on the street, but all he had to do was just sit down and just soak the time and make Optic push them. And if Vancouver secured the rest of his time, like, this game was over. The reason why Optic came back in this game is because Abuza overchowed on this P1, and then everyone else had to overcompensate because all of a sudden they didn't have a guy on the hill soaking. So now people had to backtrack and move back into different positions, and then Optic just capitalized and they flooded on them and they got control of that P1, chained the P2, and then all of a sudden it's like a tie game, P3, P4. Vancouver did a good job battling back into it, and then they just lost the trades on the P1, and then it was over from there. And then, yeah, even on, like, the last, like, P5, they lost, like, the last half of it. But it will be a game I go through during the week. But just one thing that would have forced the rewind S&D. This one play, man, it just overchowed. Like, didn't have to chow him. Like, he probably thought, like, Abuza played very well this series. Like, Abuza got some crazy kills. Like, he is actually gross. And I am going to say this about 04 when it comes to this series as a whole. There was some novice moments from him. Like, obviously a very good player. He performed very well. But there was some novice moments that a lot of people are going to not pick up on that go under the radar that I will be covering as the weeks go on into EWC. There were some novice moments where he made some plays where it's like, yeah, that was a little bit newbie. It kind of like costed his team in certain points of the game. But he also did have great routes as well. Like, he had a lot of great routes, but there's a lot of like novice routes as well. But I guess, I mean, like, a lot of people make bad plays, but it looked like very like novice routes. Like, I don't think another person would have done that, like, type of deal. But Optic, back-to-back world champions. What do we have to say about this? As I take a sip from my water. I'm not going to lie. Every time I hear a podcast and there's like dead air for like 5 seconds, I start tweaking. I'm like, oh my God, is my headset broken? So Optic, back-to-back champions. Like, okay. So first thing I want to like start off with here. I made a prediction at the beginning of the season that Optic wasn't going to win a championship all year, and that LA Thieves and FaZe were going to win everything. I have people now. I mean, I'm not going to get one guy. There's like only like 2 people, to be honest, commented on like my new short. They're like, oh, so much for that prediction. You're way off with that. Like, bro, I predicted, okay, no one would have predicted that they got murked. Okay, if they didn't get murked, they weren't winning shit. Like, let's just like start off with that. But secondly, I predicted the roster of Kenny, Pred, Shotzi, and Dashi was not going to win anything. I was right. They didn't win anything. And if you want to be a bit more technical, I said they weren't going to win anything all season long. Champs is postseason. So they didn't win anything all season. Technically, they didn't win anything all season. This is a completely different roster. If they had Hook on the roster, I would have been like, you know what? It's possible. But with AG and Kenny, I knew they weren't going to win anything. They didn't win anything. That team disbanded. So at that point, like, the bet was basically off. And then the other thing people were pointing out, Ellie, you said Ellie, dude, this guy was so dumb. I don't even know why I'm even giving any attention, but he's like, oh yeah, like you thought like dude. Hold on, before we get into that, I'm sorry, I'm actually getting backtracked. I forgot I had like Zuma stream open just to see like the final scoreboard of this Call of Duty Championship final. So here's the final like scoreboard. There's a lot of people like this is a score line that just shows this was Giga Chad trading. The reason why Shotzi's KD is so high is because he was like obviously he's like the route taker, but he had a lot of two-piece, three-piece on like the hacienda control. He was going off in the spawn. I mean, he had Vancouver on a deep courtyard spawn and nobody read it, and he just walked and got a 2-piece again. I'm like, dude, you guys are spawning in the back, like literally touching the back of the map as far as you go on the map, and you're not checking your corners as you're leaving. Like, the back spawn made no sense to me. But yeah, I thought Abuza had a really good series. I think Abuza actually cemented himself as a top AR, dude. This guy was frying, dude. He was winning some crazy gunfights. Like, this guy is actually gross. But as we're going to the thing, dude, Atlanta FaZe and LA Thieves, they won everything this season. And then at a random anomaly tournament, they just decide to not play good at all. Like, literally both of them decided to not play good at all. FaZe hasn't really been playing the good all season. They kind of just depend on the Neslos, and the second the Neslos weren't there, pretty much fucking found out it's a fraud roster. I'm not gonna lie. Bro, they won both their tourneys basically off S&D, and then whenever they face teams like below them, that's when they're good at hardpoint, you know? So like they're actually kind of frauds for that. But yeah, definitely, I mean, they fucking won everything. LATs and FaZe won everything, and Optic just snuck this shit. Dude, this is just my luck. This is just my luck. Everyone's like, this guy doesn't know ball. Da, 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 da. Actually, fuck, not everyone, obviously. It's just like the Optic people. But I want to preface by saying this. I never, at one point, was saying, oh, this team's never going to win. I did say the original roster was never going to win. I was right about that. But all I did was do the same thing that I did with everybody else's roster, but I just added a little bit of clickbaity to it just to get the extra views. But all I was doing was breaking down their gameplay. They had a lot of bad gameplay. Like, I will not take that back in a million years. We're not just going to forget about the fact they played bad for 90% of the year and just had one good event. We're not going to let that slide. Like, they played bad for the whole year. No one predicted them to win champs. I was literally, bro, besides probably the hardest of hardcore Optic fans, I was literally the only like actual content creator that had Optic in the grand finals, and I had Optic winning the grand finals, and then I took it back. Like, I had them in the grand finals, like, you know, like I had them there. Like, I just knew they were gonna play fuck better at this event. I just already had a feeling. I knew with like them. I just saw the way they're playing with Merc in the last thing. I was like, you know, like, yeah, they lost to LA Thieves, whatever, the last event, but dude, like, this team and like, I just saw the matchups in the way I was doing the bracket. I was like, they're gonna beat FaZe. Like, they're gonna beat FaZe. Fuck, FaZe got pretty lucky last time. And yeah, I mean, I pretty much predicted all that shit. I predicted the grand, like, nobody predicted Optic in the grand finals. So yeah, I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that. All I did was break down like their bad gameplay, and their gameplay was bad the whole year. I'm not taking any of that shit back. Like, you guys saw it with me. All you guys were agreeing with me. Like, ain't none of you Optic fans were saying, fuck, he's just a hater. They're like, yeah, man. All you guys were like, yeah, something's got to give. And now that your team won, you guys were like, yeah, they're the best of all time. Shut the fuck up, guys. You stupid. Like, you motherfuckers, bro. You guys were literally calling for heads. You guys were calling for shots to get dropped and everything. Like, you guys are fraudulent. Like, you guys are just as fraudulent. Everyone was saying I told you so. Yeah, absolute frauds. $800,000 in the bank for that org. Wow. 800,000. I kind of want to see how old everyone is. How old is everybody? I'm like, look at all these coaches. Who the heck is this guy? Psychotic? Joe? Okay. But now I want to get into like the GOAT debate. That actually went a lot faster than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like a 2-hour fucking podcast. This is literally gonna be like an hour. This is actually super duper impressive that we just flew through this. I want to go through this fucking GOAT debate because now people are talking GOAT debates, this and that, da 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 da. People are now throwing shots in the top 4. Okay, guys, I understand he's now a 3-time world champion. Me personally, I discredit that online MW 2019, 2020, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people saying if Empire is still playing on land, they probably still would have won. I think otherwise. Also take into account who goes on Addy at that event. That's a performance enhancing drug. you know, I do know it's also used for medication. I'm just fucking kind of trolling, but yeah, he was like, there's so many things that like that's a cheese fucking tourney. They're basically playing an online fucking 2K, and it count as like a world championship. Like, that's pretty dumb. They're basically playing an online fucking qualifier. But technically he still is a 3-time world champion. But guys, okay, so I'm gonna pull up this player card. I'm gonna pull up these player cards. I had the player cards, but now I forgot the website's fucking broken. I forgot. So now I can't. Oh my god, the website's fixed again. Oh my god, we're so back. Breaking Point is back. Okay. So we're gonna go through this. So this is from May 2024. Okay, so this is last year. So this is Shotzi's career in May 2024. So a year and some change ago, like a year and like a month ago. So Shotzi played 30 pro tournaments in Call of Duty. His average placing was a 4.03, a series win-loss of 141 to 74, which is a 65.6 percentage of wins. Only 12 finals appearances in his 30 pro tournaments and 6 wins. So he has a 50% grand finals thing. And prize money earned is $1 million. Wow. Because he has 2 world championships in there. So if you add on this year, okay, if you add on this year, we played 5 tournaments. So now he's at 35. We saw how Optic placed at most of those tourneys. So his average placing probably goes up to like a 6 now, like a 6 point something, or maybe even a 7. I mean, like, they got last place at 1, they got the top 3, like, they had some. His placing probably goes up to like a 5.5 or something. His series loss, take into account Optic this season. Take a look at Optic's record this season, okay? For those of you talking about like the GOAT debate, Optic's record this season was 24-21. They had a 53% win rate, obviously over above 50, but 24-21. They're basically 50-50. 24-21. So if you add that on, I mean, I'm not going to do complete calculations. 24-21. Yeah, it was 24-21. So 155 and 95. 155 and 95. So 155 and 95. Let me pull my calculator. 155. Wait, is it like divided? I forgot, dude. I'm fucking tweaking. I'm actually tweaking. I already forgot what I just said. I forgot what I said. 165. Oh, it's 165. Jeez. 165 divided by 95. Is that correct? I don't even know. Anyways, it takes that percentage down a lot. I don't know why my math's just off. I can't do anything. And then his tournament wins. So he now played at 35 pro tournaments. His final appearances, he still maintains I think he's now above 50% because he's only been in one fucking finals, and it was this final. So now he has 13 finals appearances and 7 wins. So he has above 50% in win rate, but his average placing went down. His series percentage goes down. I mean, he only has 7 wins, and people are trying to throw him in the top 3 already just because he has 3 rings. I know 3 rings is something only like fucking like 3 other players have. Like, it's a very rare air, you know, JCap, Crim, Karma, very rare air. But you do have to take into account like the tournament wins. Like Clay has over 20. Karma almost 30, Crim like 38. You know, all of them have so much more wins. Granted, it's in an era where they're playing a lot more tournaments, but even Abizi and Simp, people who lose a lot, they're at like 14, 13. Granted, they have a lot more finals appearances. They're at like 30. It's actually crazy, dude. Actually, I think they're at like 24. They're at 24. I could even go through this right now. It's a little bit interesting. Even like Dashi. So take into account Dashi. So like Shots is at 30. Dashi's at 41. So this is like May 2024. Dashi's at 41. His average placing was 6.88. So after this year, probably even worse, probably in the 7s. His series win-loss 181 to 109. So his series win-loss definitely goes down a bit to maybe like high 50s, like maybe like a 58. In 41 tournaments, 7 finals appearances, 3 tournament wins. 2 of them world. I think this is like before the World Championship too. I think it was before, because that's May. Yeah, I actually think it was. So he basically has 5 tournament wins in 46 tournaments. Like, that's not that great. Like, you know, but he's a 2-time world. I saw a person trying to put him in the top like 8, or someone put him in like the top 7. Someone threw him above Abizi. I'm like, bro, they have the same world championships. Abizi has like 3 times more tournament wins like than him and a higher win rate. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I can even pull up like Abizi's fucking career card. Let me. Abizi career card. Okay, so this is Simban Abizi. Okay, I just want Abizi. Which, okay, it just pulls up Simban and Abizi together. Okay. I mean, I guess because they played the exact same thing. Okay. 33 pro tournaments. So this was like last year, I think. Yeah, so this is a year ago. 33 tournaments, average placing at 2.76, a 74.3 win-loss, and that's probably increased because this year they had a 72.92. 22 finals appearances, so they had obviously more finals now. 9 tournament wins. I think it was like way before a lot of stuff, because I think they're at like fucking 14 now. So I mean, like, they have a lot more fucking tournament wins. Yeah, and people are trying to throw fuck Dashi above Abizi. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? We're on some shit. Like, low key, we're on some shit. But yeah, as for the GOAT debate, where would I have Shotzi? I mean, I still have Crim, Karma, Clay, Scump ahead of him. I still have Scump ahead of him, even though Scump only has fucking 1 ring. I think Scump was great. I think Scump's like right next to him. I don't think he's above Scump, but I think he's like right there. Scump is just much more of a serial fucking winner, dude. Let me pull up Scump's career card while we're at it. Scump career COD card. So 97 pro tournaments, average placing of 4.45, series win loss 466 to 172, a 73% win rate. Finals appearances 41, tournament wins 30. Like, come on, man. Like, I know there's more tournaments back then, but 30 wins and a ring, dude. Like, that just holds way more weight than 3 rings and only, like, I think he's at 7 wins. He was at, like, when we look, I think he's at 7 wins. Like 7 wins is like not that much, dude. That means outside of the World Championships, he's only won 4 tourneys in his 5 years of competing. But I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's 3 World fucking Championships. Who the fuck cares? I mean, that's fucking very good. But we're talking about winning, like being an all-time player. It's not just about champs. You have to have wins under your belt as well, you know? You gotta have wins. There's nobody in that top 5 that has underneath 20 tournament wins, you know? All of them are just, I mean, besides Simp, obviously. Where would I have Shotzi? I mean, I already talked about my all-time. I honestly have fucking Karma as number 1. I've always had Karma as number 1 because I just like value the, I had Karma or Scump as number 1. Hold on, let me, Karma COD career card. That's such a card, you know? So Damon, when he was on Seattle Surge, that's when they did this card. 71 events attended, average placing 4.45, a 340 to 121, a 73.7 win rate, finals appearances 32, tournament wins 24, COD champs rings 3 out of 6. So he has a 50% in COD champs. It's not bad. Average COD champs KD is a 1.10. I mean, fuck man, that's my GOAT right there. I don't know. 24 out of 32 in fucking finals appearances. Let's take a look at Crim's card. Crim 6 career COD. Yeah, but Crim has a lot of like events in there that are crazy, dude. 89 pro tournaments, dude. 89. A 3.81 average placing. 446 to 144, a 75.6 win-loss in series. I think the time on NYSL tarnished that record. If he was on NYSL, I mean, fuck, like he would have. But they did actually get that Pro-Am, so it actually helped. 51 finals appearances, 38 tournament wins, 3 COD Champs rings, online ring in that. I don't know why I can't do fucking percent. I think I'm supposed to put like the other number into the other number. I'm tweaking. I'm actually tweaking. So that's it. 30 out of 51 is a 74% win rate. That's like pretty good, man. A 74. Let's do Damon. 24 divided by 30. He has a 75% win rate. So he's like just above like Crim by like a point, like 1% win rate. But if you compare their card, I just always had Damon because he has 3 LAN. He's the only person with 3 LAN world championships. That holds a lot in my regard. He probably could have kept playing into Cold War, but he retired early after MW19, obviously. But I've always had him as number 1. And he's just been effective in multiple roles, like Crim. After like Black Ops 2 or Ghost, probably wouldn't put him in like the top 10 players in like all the rest of the games. You know, I don't know if that's just me. Yeah, but I'd have Crim, Karma, Formal, Scump, Simp above. Actually, I mean that. Okay, here's another thing about Simp. I think with this loss, I think Simp has now just like completely tarnished his opportunity at the GOAT debate, because man, these losses are really bad, like really bad, and they're tarnishing his legacy. Like if Vanguard, I will say, if Vanguard didn't go the way that it went with all, if they like won all those tournaments in Vanguard, I think you'd be fucking chilling. But that Vanguard season completely tarnished like everything. And then they sort of redeemed it in MW3 with the EWC. I'm going to probably do a separate podcast on Atlanta FaZe and if they should split. I mean, I think that'd be an interesting conversation. But yeah, I mean, unless next year he wins everything, I mean, I think that GOAT debate's over for him, and I don't think we're going to have another GOAT debate for a while. I mean, unless if Shotzi gets fucking 4 rings, I don't care if he has 7 tournament wins. If he gets 4, okay, it's over. Like, you know, because 4 is fucking crazy, even though the one online there. But Krim just has a lot of tournament wins, and I hold those in high regard. I know we're playing in a different era. There's like 5 fucking tournaments a year. Back then they had like 13. And that's something I also want to bring up in the GOAT debate, because fucking Temp on Dope Check made a great point about this. So Krim and Aches, like, you know, if you want to use those, even TP, they farm tournaments in the Black Ops 2 and the Ghost here. Those are like their best Call of Duties, literally both of them, Black Ops 2 and Ghost. Those are their best CODs, and they had like fucking 10 plus tournaments they were farming. Imagine if fucking Simp had 12 tournaments in Cold War. Like, you don't think he's getting like 8 more championships? And then, like, the GOAT debate's completely fucking different, because all of a sudden, Simp's at, like, 25 tournament wins. Like, in his best game, they had, like, 5 tournaments. I think it was, like, 5 or 6. It may have been 6. But that's it. If they had, like, 12, dude, he would have gotten at least, like, 3 more wins, like, easy. Like, you know? Like, definitely something to take into account when talking about the GOAT debate. But I'm going to wrap it up there. I want to save some ammunition for future podcasts, I think. And this has already gone over an hour. But, I mean, hate how GG Breaking Point came up at the end. I mean, we could even just go through this series. I can see, like, the full scoreboard right here. But, yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Burrito Talk, recapping the weekend of matches. Hope you guys have a good week, a good Monday. I got a lot of business to take care of. We'll probably be taking a short, like 2-3 day hiatus, have some obvious personal stuff to deal with. But hope you guys have a wonderful week, and keep grinding, because you never know who's watching. God, this fucking outro is just slacking. I mean, the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. I got more houses to look at. Some fell through with that as well. Dude, so much stuff going on. But please subscribe, share the video with your friends, tell everyone about me. You know the vibe. This has been Burrito. Bada boom, bada bye. We'll see you next time. And also, I'm not sure if we have anyone that could go back, but whoever that border security guy is, that guy has altered the history of Call of Duty as we know it. Like, I know everyone's already talked about it, but if that guy doesn't stop beans at the border, be like, yeah, I don't like this fucking visa. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like, fucking go back where you came from. If that guy doesn't send beans back, we never get Merc. Like, I already talked about it earlier, but I just want to, like, highlight this border security person. If this guy had a different bowl of cereal, he's like, yeah, you're good, whatever. Like, just go. I got you, buddy. Like, anybody else, or just him on maybe like a better day, like, you know, like, this guy has altered our history as we know it, because Merc wasn't gonna get picked up from challengers. I already talked about it earlier. I'm sorry, I'm just repeating myself, but I wanted to just add that in. Wow, it's so crazy how things happen in the Call of Duty world. There's so many things. We look through all the years, it's like, oh man, just insane. Absolutely insane, but you know, but that's life, dude. This is the stuff that we end up talking about the other day. These are like great stories, like, to reminisce on in the future.